You guys think PG means pretty good, while we're over here making sure it's safe for grandma.
Who the fuck thinks this means it's pretty good? Where have you heard that shit?
Hey, that's what I've been told. So you could school me.
Told by
You're
who
gonna
though?
school
A
me now?
Brit or an American? Because that might give you the
But
answer to why you've been told this, depending on who's giving this information. I bet you some American go, did you know in the UK they
I
refer
bet
to
you
it
you're
as this?
right, because
Yeah,
I'm the American. Remember?
you are
So
the
yes,
American.
it's coming from America.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's get into it.
Go.
Welcome to Two Sides of the Pod, the podcast where myself, Matthew, a Brit, and this guy over here, the Yankee Doodle known as Dwayne, getting famous or
Hola.
infamous or maybe not at all. I have no idea based on recent comments on things. We're going to be discussing all sorts of random shite, and we don't know what we're doing. We keep saying this. We're not in a position to discuss this, but we're going to do it anyway because it makes you guys cry, and that's what this is all about. If it triggers you, mission accomplished. That's the whole point. So, yeah. What did you say? PG stands for what? Parental guinea pig?
We're going with pretty good.
Pretty
So,
good. Right.
pretty
Okay.
good.
I've never heard that before. I must
No.
admit, I've never heard that as a term for PG.
So there are movie TV ratings and TV. Well, movie ratings and TV ratings, right? And they're very different to a degree between the both countries. So I find it interesting that, well, let's just go with movies. We'll start with movies. So, what are your ratings for movies?
So we have U, which I think is universal, not the company, the rating, universal. So yeah, which basically means anyone can view it. Basically, it's a universal film that there's no guidance, no nothing. We have PG.
And we have G. Ours is
G.
G for that.
What,
so
what's
general
that?
audiences.
General, all right.
General
okay.
audiences, meaning all ages are admitted.
Okay. So we also then have PG-12, I think. I'm assuming these still exist. It's been a while since I've paid much attention to it because I'm not a child, and so I don't overly give a shit what a rating is anymore because I can see anything, so it's fine. But so things may have changed since I actually paid attention. But we used to have PG-12, and I'm pretty sure that came about when I was young, around that sort of age. And that then meant that if you were 12 or older, you could watch it. Or if you're younger than 12, you have to be with a parental guardian in order to watch it. So it's your parents' discretion. Because you also have PG as well, just I think on its own, which was just parental guardian regardless. I don't know. I can't remember what the difference was or whether it got refined. No idea. We then have 15 and 18 as well. So this self-explanatory. 15 or older for 15, 18 and older for an 18. I can't remember if we have any others, really. What about you?
Okay.
What do you have?
Well, so we have the G for general audiences. We have PG for parental guidance suggested. Then we have PG-13, where parents strongly cautioned.
Yes.
Meaning some material may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Yes.
And then we have R, which is those under 17 must be accompanied by an adult or guardian. And then NC-17, which is 17 and under is not allowed to see it. And I guess that means with an adult or not.
Yeah, so we so it's the BBFC, which is what does our classifications in the UK, and I should actually know a bit more about this because every time I go to the cinema now, we currently have a new BBFC ad that plays that shows these ratings are made for us and it's all of our benefit and all that sort of dog shit that no one cares about. So rather than me trying to play guess what,
I might have seen that. Wait, are they like different colored shapes?
Yeah, we have triangle and circle, and then different colors. So the harsher the color,
or something like that. Yeah.
We do have a square one, but that's adults' work for licensed premises only. So that's R18. So yeah, maybe, but that's like X-rated shite. But yeah, not something you find in cinema in theory. But generally, we have six ratings primarily, and then the adults work one, which is the seventh one. But to go through them, rather than me trying to play guesswork, because that didn't really work at all. So we have U, which, as I said, suitable for all. That's a nice green triangle. We have PG, which is parental guidance. We then have 12A, which is cinema release suitable for 12 years and over. And then we just have 12, which is the video release suitable for 12 years and older. And then 15, and then 18.
Okay. I did watch doing a little bit of research with this the other day. I was curious to see how different they actually would be, if it was even something worth talking about. And that's where I saw the circles and the colors, and it was very kindergarten like, the commercial, I will say. It was something I would think I would see on Sesame Street, to be honest.
It's made for people like you to understand.
But it went through each U and whatever, or Y, is it? Y for youth for you guys?
No, you.
No, you. Ours is Y. Okay.
Yeah.
So as it goes through, it has like maybe 3 lines of information saying what it actually means and how people can understand what it's going to be like if you were to see a TV show or movie of this nature. And then it got to your NC-18, and it just said literally one word. You could look it up yourself. And there's NC-18 porn. Like, that's exactly what it was. That's all it was. That's all it said to it. And then it just ended the video.
Just ends on the good stuff.
It was so weird. It was very robotic too. It was very CGI, whatever. It was, yeah. And then this has to do with porn. Like, it was horrible.
Brilliant.
I just couldn't. But then for TV is semi-similar, I would say.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Except we have Y for youth, for all children.
But we have, I don't know what you got, but we have different times of the day where you can show certain things. So, for example, if you have a 15 rated film or an 18 rated film, you can't play it too early, because there's not much you can do when it comes to TV to prevent people from watching it on TV. So the way around that is to hope that the little ones have gone to bed. Although I think, to be honest, in 2025, every bastard stays up until the fucking break of dawn anyway. So I don't think it really works. But you know, that's the idea, is you start showing the higher rated films, you know, later on in the evening, or you can edit the film. And so this happened the other day. We were I was over my my family's for New Year's, and we were watching Crocodile Dundee. That was on, classic film, love it. And there's a few scenes in there where it's a bit violent. You know, it's got a few knives being thrown at people and stuff like that, you know, other various bits and pieces. And because the film was being shown at 5 p.m. in the evening, obviously, 5 p.m., they were cutting out those bits of the film to make it so they could show it at that time slot. And it was such a shame, because it's all the good bits of the film, all the bits you enjoy as an adult, taken out. You know, and the film doesn't quite flow correctly either because it's taken out. It's like, why have they done this? Why can't they just, it's not meant for a younger audience, just put the fucking film on later. The thing that is stupid as well is I actually have this film, I own this film, and I have all my films on a media server, so I can stream it, you know, like you do with Netflix or Prime, whatever. I can do the same with my own film collection from my house, and I didn't think about that at the time. We just kept on watching it on TV with ad breaks in between, with bits cut out. Rather than just going, you know what, fuck this, let's put on my copy, which won't have any ad breaks, and it will have all the juicy bits put in. But hey, I had devoured quite a lot of rum at this point, so I wasn't really thinking straight. So that's my excuse. Yeah.
Now, I remember when my kids were younger, they were about 13 years old, and they wanted to watch a PG-13 movie because they were never allowed to before. And
how old did you say they were?
They were, one was 11, one was 13 at the time. So, because I adopted them, I didn't get them until they were like 10 and 12. So for that Halloween, they wanted to watch a PG-13 movie because, you know, in foster care, they weren't allowed to do anything. They weren't even allowed to blow candles off of a birthday cake because, you know, it was considered too dangerous. So they missed out on a lot growing up. So they're like, oh, we really want to see a PG-13 movie. And I didn't know how I felt about that. So I picked the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is PG-13. It is the worst B-rated, like, horrible, just piece of shit film. The special effects are not good. It was done in like 1988. So,
Mm.
but it was amazing to me that that was a PG-13 film because really nothing major was happening. Like how things have changed in the 80s all the way up to now is ridiculous. Like we have Terminator from 1984. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. That is rated R here in the United States.
Is it?
It is. And that is rated R for two reasons. One, because of violence, which wasn't even really good violence, mind you. It's some language, some shooting guns, and then you get to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, get canceled just for that one. Arnold Schwarzenegger's bare ass in one scene, and that made it a rated R movie. I would think that in today's time it might be a PG-13 movie, maybe because of the guns and partial nudity. But could you imagine it being an R-rated movie, which basically means R-rated movies are for if you're under 17, you have to be accompanied by an adult. So they're saying if you were 16 years old, you were not allowed to see someone shoot somebody on TV. Back in the early 80s, that was considered too much violence for somebody. Now, a movie like Terminator was to come out, it's just PG,
Yeah.
especially with video games.
Yeah.
Like
It's changed a lot.
how much violence are in video games now where they are so realistic that video games have their own rating system as well.
Yeah, they do. There's not many 18s these days either. I mean, GTA probably is the main one that still remains 18 because that is mental. But other than that, there's not much. The same goes for films. Not many films are rated 18. Quite a lot of
Mhm.
films will modify the script to ensure that it doesn't go into an 18 rating and remains at a 15, to not limit the audience.
I always thought it was just ridiculous how we've progressed as a society one way, whether it's technology, for example, but then when it comes to violence, we've taken like 5 steps back. It is okay now for a child to watch somebody on TV pretend to be high or stoned or whatever, or using illegal street drugs or pretending to drink alcohol,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay. When I remember watching um, Different Strokes, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was a show from the 80s, it was a sitcom. And that sitcom would have things like warnings in front of it. Here's a very special episode of Different Strokes where Dudley tries drugs for the first time, or Dudley gets abused like sexually abused by the bike shop worker.
Mm.
Poor Dudley. He had a shitty role. I bet
I do
he's in
find it.
therapy today.
Oh, probably. I do find it quite funny as well, though, that obviously for a PG-13 or whatever, you're allowed to have one F-bomb. You can say fuck once
Hmm.
somewhere in the
I
film,
know.
which was never
Yes.
allowed. But now the question comes down to, on the films that don't have the F-bomb at all, but they're allowed to have it, where would you put it? I remember seeing a video of The Lord of the Rings with some of the
Hmm.
actors from that played Merry and Pippin. They were talking about where best to put, in each of the three films, because you can use it once per film, where to put the word fuck. And they came up with several examples, and it would have been hilarious. It would have been so, so funny. Just having this sort of kids' film that has a bit of violence, but it's PG-13, so you can say fuck once. Imagine that. Imagine something designed for, teens, 13, 14, 15 year
I
olds.
I worked an event one season that was considered a PG-13 event. and I would tell the people I was with that I was hanging out with, and it was Halloween Horror Nights. Like, it's a PG-13 event. The year was the 80s, right? It was themed to the 80s, and I told every one of my people with me, I said, listen, just so you know, being a PG-13 event, we're going to go right, to, I'm allowed to drop the F-bomb one time, so you better listen to everything I say to you, because I will do it sometime tonight. And they all made sure they listened for it. And there were a couple of times I did not get to it, and I would have to work it in because they were actually listening to me. It was one way to get somebody to listen,
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I remember you were saying how you were watching something on TV and they had cut out a bunch of the scenes because they weren't suitable for television. Yeah, I was on a plane once to Las Vegas, and I believe the movie was one with Dr. Ken, and I think it was 21, Blackout, something. It was one of those college movies where they were going to Vegas. It was someone's 21st birthday, and I remember the one line in that movie that people were like went crazy over was he would say 21 bitches. Like it was just like the tagline just about everywhere for this movie. And if you know what the movie is, just comment down below, because for the life of me I can't remember what it is, but it was on the plane to Vegas. That was the in-flight movie that I was watching, and they had to cut out all the naughty bits. The movie was 22 minutes long. The hour and a half movie was like 22 minutes long. I couldn't believe
That's
it.
mad. See, I don't understand it when it comes to planes, though, because there are films that are a higher rating, because I've watched films on a plane which are a higher rating that's not suitable for all audiences. So I wonder where they draw the line of when they
Mm,
modify something and when they don't modify something. Because I've watched um, Evil Dead Rise, or whatever the fuck it's called, one of the newer Evil Dead films that came out. I watched that on a flight, I think, to LA from New York last year.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that was an 18, and it was still very much an 18. They didn't cut out the gory bits. It was still a horrific
Really?
film with a lot of shit going on. You think if a child watches this, they're going to need therapy. They probably need therapy regardless because it's the modern age. But they would need more therapy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't understand when they decide to modify a film and when they don't. It's weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, at what point do you trust the parents to do the job of monitoring? Like, you're supposed to, so it doesn't matter. They're going to find out whether
the
they're going to
horror
find out either
stories
way.
of kids on planes. Jesus Christ.
Okay, the most inappropriate movie I've ever seen on a plane was Snakes on a Plane. It literally was playing on an airplane flight for me once.
That's tame. Now that's tame.
It's just the idea, the subject matter right there. Like, oh yeah, let's watch Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah,
on a plane, on a tin can.
I could
Go
top
for
that. I could massively top it. So me and Connor, I'm going to shout out Connor again, our resident designer. We were flying back from somewhere, maybe from Copenhagen, whatever it was. It's a short flight, right? It's about an hour and a half, whatever it is. Quite a short flight from Copenhagen to the UK. It doesn't take long. It might even be shorter than that, actually. It might be about 45 minutes. Anyway, because there's not enough time to redo much other than scratch your ass, we decided to get my iPad out. And the cool thing with Apple products these days, and probably other stuff as well, but you can have multiple headphones connected to the same doodah. So we both had our AirPod Maxes that are noise cancelling, and we put the iPad between the both of us, and we watched a nice bit of air crash investigation on the way back. So yes, we were watching this fucking plane crash on the iPad as we were flying back, and other people were like, "Oh shit." That's brilliant. So yeah, that's a lot more inappropriate than Snakes on a Plane.
So I'm kind of curious, do you have a screen protector on your phone where it's a privacy screen protector? So if someone was looking over your shoulder or just peered over a little bit so they wouldn't be able to see what's on your phone?
I've never bothered.
You couldn't give two shits what people see on your phone.
The problem is, it's just something extra to get and to maintain and start peeling, and it looks a bit shit. I was going to say it looks gay, but I thought I tried to offend you. But that's done it now. That's got your blood boiling. Yay! But yeah, I don't tend to bother. I mean, it's not often that I have anything on my screens that I care about hiding. Really, a lot of the time I'm writing
Oh,
code.
I can't.
But
go on your but on your cell phone.
Not on the phone. No.
On your
but
cell phone in public, like.
What's there to hide?
Okay, well, it's a little different for you. Your situation versus mine.
What
I
are you
don't
trying
work
to
from
hide?
home.
Okay, there is that. Yeah, there is that. Well, what are you trying to hide?
I am at work and I'm sending very inappropriate text messages and pictures to friends, and we just share information. So at any point at work, somebody could walk over and just look over, and yeah, that's a phone call for HR right there.
Maybe you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just easier not to do it.
Who, me?
I love the way you can just went unfocused at the same time as well. I was like, there's no one here. It's gonna blur out. Yeah.
Oh,
you see what I mean?
God.
But like with me, it's like comparing that. Like I don't use my phone that much in public anyway. It might be to respond to a message, but it's never anything overly inappropriate. Quite a lot of
75% of what I text people is inappropriate, because don't forget, I guess I'm just gay. So that's just what we do.
It's just a standard, is it?
It's a standard,
because you that's your way inclined. You just got to send inappropriate shit 24/7.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we meet a new friend, we have to sniff their ass to see if they're worthy of talking to.
Okay, like a dog.
And you can't do that in public. So
you shouldn't be doing that over a fucking message anyway. I don't think there's any appropriate time for doing such a thing.
Really? You said that. Of all the people I know, the most inappropriate person I actually know, you make fun of religion, you make fun of handicapped people, diseases, you make fun of but you shouldn't send a dick pic of to someone, or
I've got
shouldn't say anything inappropriate.
I've got boundaries, okay?
That's a stand. Oh. So we won't talk about you and what you did with your little black foamy thing on that video that you sent me the other day. Okay. Okay, you're right. Though, you're right. Yeah.
I wouldn't get a screen protector though.
Nope.
That's fine. I like my big black fluffy thing. It was highly animated when I first got it. I was very excited. But I don't need a screen protector for this sort of stuff. I don't have anything to hide.
But
so
you work at home all day, so I mean,
yeah, but again,
when you are
even
out in public, you're doing things.
Yeah, but even if I do,
are you really on your phone that often?
Not often. No, I'm not unsociable.
Being like,
what am I? Some sort of asshole? Are
Yes.
you going to use your phone when we're together in April for 2 weeks? Are you going to be using your phone, sending dick pics whilst walking through London? If you are, I'm going to drop kick you into the River Thames.
Well, according to you, I'm going to be rude to everybody anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you will get shanked if you start trying to do that around London. Hang on a minute. I need a stronger screen protector. This is a big one.
Oh my God.
Fucking PG-13.
Holy shit. Yeah, no. I think at the end of the day, I don't believe in any of our movie ratings or TV ratings. It really is because the parents are going to come back and say, don't tell me what my kid can and cannot do. I'll tell my kid what I can and cannot do. That is the social climate in America. That's the same thing great. With talking in school about sex ed.
Yeah.
All that. They're trying to take that all. They're still doing the fight of trying to get that out of the school's hands, and they want everything taught at home. The problem is the reason why Sally got pregnant at 13 was because you didn't have the conversation with her. You know what I mean?
And she wanted to fuck around with some dick.
Yeah.
Can't blame her.
Because she got a picture from someone on her phone.
Probably you.
Not me, but...
Whoa. Anyway, we're not going back a little bit because we're not setting that conversation that easily. So
What?
With screen protector, so yeah, we're like with what I
Yeah.
do, I haven't found a need for ever having it. I don't even have a case on my phone. I have nothing on my phone. Everyone says, "How
It
can you do
hurts
that? Do you
me
not break your
when
phone?"
I see that.
I don't break anything. I mean, I change it every year anyway. So all it's got to do is survive 12 months. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a new one. But they're always in perfect condition. I don't damage them. I look after my stuff. You know, it's fine. I've seen people like put them in their titty pocket and they lean over and they goes woo, and then goes down the toilet. And it's like, yeah, I don't do that because I'm not a twat. You know.
I also think with you, when you're out in public, you aren't on your phone all the time. So there's less chances of you getting knocked into and it falling out of your hand, or you pulling it in out of your pocket so much that it just slips right off. Because the problem I have with some phone cases is as I pull it out of my back pocket, it's not ribbed for its protection.
It's not ripped for
So
your pleasure. I also
so
haven't got arthritis, so
it's
I do have a pretty good grip on my phone. I mean, I do use it. I do walk around and use it. I have messages, stuff. I've been on fucking walks going at, a mile every 14 minutes, replying to you because you're sending me some shite. So
do
that
you voice text, or do
no, I
you
don't. I
actually
can't
sit there
do
with your
it.
head down?
I can't do
And
it.
I've never,
For,
yeah,
yeah, but for
me
someone
neither.
who's in tune with technology as me, who specializes in tech and creates tech, I cannot get into the habit of talking to a dumb son of a bitch AI thing on the phone. I type. I just
Yeah.
can't do it. I can't talk. I can't walk around the house and go, "Hey Siri." I better not do that because that thing will fucking wake up and go, "Huh," because it's a pain in the ass. But I just can't do it. I cannot do it. But yeah, so I haven't had any need for a screen protector. However, at the moment, I use my personal phone for all of my business needs as well. It has dual SIM, so I have a personal SIM and a business SIM. But at some point, when I can be bothered to split things down, I'm going to have a separate, company phone, because it's getting to the point now where I have too much business stuff going on my personal phone, and I'm getting notifications when I'm trying to chill out because it's something going on in the business, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to switch off. So I need to separate. What I might do, I might have a screen protector for the business phone because there might be something more personal on there because it could be relating to something confidential in the business that I don't want people to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Like my stuff, I couldn't give a fuck. And like even again on my laptop, for example, I've sat in airport lounges and here, there, and everywhere, and I've been doing coding. And I don't care because again, what you're going to do, you're going to see a snippet of a piece of code. You can't take that and then suddenly replicate what we're doing because there's loads of shit that you haven't seen. Plus it's just a
No, but
screen full of text.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you go to conventions in different countries selling your product where you're
Yes.
sitting there in a room full of other tech heads that understand what all that means. So that
Yeah,
would
but I
be
haven't got it up on the
really
screen then.
important.
Yeah, but it's not on the screen
Okay.
in those scenarios.
Okay.
Yeah, that's showcasing what we got. We haven't got like all the behind the scenes stuff up. But when I'm on a plane, or I mean, again, I fly, business class, so people can't generally see what I'm doing. But for example, me and Connor, though, we have flown because we flow Ryanair, which is it's like the UK version of Southwest, bag of shit, or like Spirit, bag of shit Airways, fucking cheapest chips. Everyone piles on, then piles off again.
Well,
You got to pay for fucking engines.
Spirit's going down. They've gone bankrupt anyway. So
Good riddance. Fuck them. Feed them rice.
Mm.
Anyway, so we've been on the plane then, and Connor's been doing some designs for
What
one of
do
our
Asians
products.
have to do with that? But go on.
What?
Feed them rice? What does that mean?
What? Why did you correlate rice to Asians? What's wrong with you? Rice is a global food, you fuckwit.
Nah,
anyone can eat rice. Why did your mind go to Asians? What's wrong with you? I said nothing of the sort.
Say that.
That's more on you.
Every time you say that, I go right to that's
that
Asian
says a lot
slur.
about you. I don't know why.
Ooh.
Just feed him rice.
Go on. Sorry.
Rice is good, but fucking Southwest go bankrupt, have a bowl of rice, and then move on with your life. It's perfect. It's just I don't know why you just associated that with Asians. That's wild. Anyway,
so on
as I was saying before you get yourself more into hot water. So we're sat on a plane flying back, and Connor was doing some designs for one of our products, and people were looking. I noticed people behind and to the side. They kept on looking, thinking, "Oh, what's this?" Because that looks pretty good, But again, we don't give a shit. If you want to see it, you want to see it. It doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. Again, if we are doing something that is really confidential, then maybe it might be an idea to get one of those temporary screen things that you just sort of throw on when you want it and take it off when you don't need it. Because again, I don't want to have something permanently on the laptop. It's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be a reason for it one day. But again, generally speaking, I got nothing to
You don't
hide.
even want something temporary on your cell phone at this point. Like, you don't even want a
Nah.
case on your cell phone. So
Nah, I'm good.
you are so simple and basic.
If I was worried about that sort of stuff, I wouldn't be doing this saying shit. You know what I mean? I'd be hiding in a hole somewhere and keeping myself private. But I don't give
eating
a fuck.
rice. So
Exactly.
on that note,
Spicy.
we gotta go. On that note, thank you very much for listening, watching. Dude, where the hell did you go?
I fell over. I did a little squat and fell over. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, well, thank you again for watching, listening, wherever you were doing it. And let us know what you think about the rating system, where you're from down there. And
about rice. What's your favorite flavor?
And we're not going there. We're not talking about race anymore. All right. Say goodbye, Matthew.
Bye-bye. Bag of rice.
Ciao.